Joining me now to discuss France's energy savings plan is Andreas Rüdinger. He's an energy and climate policy expert. Thank you for speaking to us on France 24, sir. First of all, the president today has said that France does have enough energy to get through this winter, even in the worst case scenario. Do you agree with him, or do you think there is still a risk of blackouts?
Well, hello to you. I mean, even beyond the risk of blackout, which might be the worst case scenario, we have to consider a number of points. I mean, we have a very specific situation on natural gas, obviously, which has induced European action and European target of saving 15% of gas consumption across the EU. We have now the same situation on electricity, and France is in a very specific situation, which is its nuclear power fleet, which is not as available as it should be right now. So in theory, what has been announced and what will be announced today should be sufficient to regulate and to pass this winter. Just to give you an example on how important the energy savings will be to pass the most critical moments this winter, if all the changes in behavior, all the energy savings are added up, this might be the equivalent of about 9 nuclear reactors. So this is huge.
And a significant part of the plan does involve French people being willing to embrace changes and to conserve energy themselves, things like carpooling, lowering their thermostats at home, obviously. How easy do you think it will be to convince people to get behind these measures? Do you think that there is an understanding that this is something that people need to be in together?
Yeah, clearly. I think it's a crucial point we're at today because we clearly moved from a very ideological debate on energy conservation, on energy sufficiency, to something where the key question is, how do we get there? How do we make this a success? And one of the most crucial points is probably the issue of equity and solidarity. So to mobilize about everyone in the French society, we need to give them a feeling of a shared effort. So everyone is doing what he can at his very specific level. So we cannot ask the same things from low-income households as from others, obviously. And so this is very important. Another very important point is on exemplarity from the state. And I think that's something which has been made very clear in today's announcements. So we have a series of critical points here to make this efficient and a success.
And the government has taken a decision here in France to try and keep electricity and gas bills affordable for people. From January, there's to be a 15% cap on electricity and gas prices. Is that the right decision in your view, that the government spends that money now so that households don't suffer, but we will accrue the bill much later on?
It's a very tricky question. Because obviously, as a government, I think this is true not only for the French government, but for any European country right now, you have to deal with two things simultaneously. On one side, you have to provide social relief for an energy price crisis, which is very violent right now for a number of households and actors. So yeah, we need some kind of relief to help people pay their bills. On the other hand, if you only do this, you can make things even worse in the future. For upcoming crisis, if you just suppress what we call the price signal, so the price of energy, people will not be incentivized to consume less, to consume better. So what we propose, for example, for the French government is that to have a strategy, a twofold strategy, where for each euro that is spent on social aid for energy bills, you have one additional euro of public money spent on accelerating the energy transition, which means investing in energy renovations, meaning investing in the deployment of renewable energies. So we have to be on all fronts simultaneously.
Let's talk a little bit more about that finally, if we can, because of course you're also a climate policy expert. And I wonder where you think this particular crisis leaves France in terms of its goal of using cleaner, greener energy overall, because when it comes to wind and solar, France was already lagging behind other European countries, wasn't it?
This is true. I mean, France was one of I think the only country in Europe which did miss its 2020 target for renewable energy. Obviously, we have a strong political controversy on the respective role of nuclear power and renewable electricity in particular. But I think the current situation as it stands, where we are facing what people might call a perfect storm of different crises. We have a climate crisis. We have had a lot of extreme weather this summer. We have an energy crisis right now. We have a very difficult winter to pass. It means that we really have to put our debates aside and really act on all possible levels at the same time. Meaning we should really accelerate, not only on renewable energies, but mostly on energy efficiency. So the plan today is very good news in the sense of just showing how important energy efficiency and energy savings will be to achieve this transition.
Andreas Rüdinger, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us on France 24 today, sir.
Thank you.